on the ground.
Where?
Somewhere. Didn't they explain that the humans just threw there somewhere in the middle of nowhere and forgot about it?
Did they bury it?
And then, like 100 years later, some scientists found it, and then he turned his son into a cyborg.
You remember in the Suicide Squad movie when they find that ancient ruins and then they just immediately break it?
Wait, we're missing the grand reveal of our villain.
Oh my god, he just kind of shows up.
He's so complex and interesting.
He just shows up on the secret island that nobody's supposed to know about. I guess maybe he has like a tracking thing or some sort of connection to the mother box. This is all possible. We're not paying attention to the film, so it's hard to say.
How come nobody says DC has a villain problem?
Because DC has other problems.
That's true. DC is a problem. That's what all the headlines should read.
It's not so much of a villain problem as it is a story problem, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, people always say that about Marvel, though. Marvel has a villain problem.
Do they?
Which is
it really true?
They have a lot of generic villains, but they've certainly had more interesting villains than any of these DC movies.
Loki, Ego. They've had some. Marvel's had some good villains at this point.
I like Ego a lot. I like what's his face? Michael B. Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? I already forgot.
Warmonger?
Warmonger. No, that's not right.
Killmonger.
The Mandarin.
Which everybody hates, even though it's wonderful.
I love that so much.
Well, that was a twist.
That's what makes it interesting.
That was a fun twist.
Yes. And that's another thing Marvel has done a few times with their movies, is have fun twists with the villains. The reveal in Spider-Man Homecoming is great. But here, our villain just shows up for the box and people ride horses.
Why didn't he do this years ago?
Because the movie's happening now.
It's a good answer.
Like the excuse in the movie, right, is Superman's dead. So now it's safe for Steppenwolf. Yeah, I'm going to call him Steppenwolf.
Stephen.
It's safe for him to come and take the boxes.
Even though Superman's only been on Earth for a couple years.
What about the hundreds of years before there was a Superman? Couldn't he do it then?
This is a good question.
When has Superman defended the Earth? He just murders people. You just go to Superman and you say, hey, you want to help me blow shit up? He's probably going to say yes.
No, Rich, everybody loves Superman, according to this movie.
According to the things people say,
Yeah.
and not the things that the movie shows us, yeah, Superman's a hero.
You have to, and I think this was their intention with this movie, is they hoped that people would just forget what happened in the other movies. Because you have to for any of this to make any sense. The world misses Superman. We need Superman now more than ever. Really? Since when?
Oh my God.
And I would say that's one of the few things this movie gets right, is that they make Superman act like Superman finally. It took 3 movies, but they did it.
I just want Christopher Reeve to show up from another dimension and just save the DC universe. Things have gone terribly wrong here. I have to do something.
Him and Adam West, they'll team up.
Didn't you have an idea about that?
It's not really mine. I heard somebody else say it that was saying that you save the DC cinematic universe by having this version of the Justice League just basically turn out to be villains.
Yeah.
And then they have to fight the real Justice League, who are good guys from a different universe.
But if you did that, then you'd piss off the people that really love these DC movies and defend them for some bizarre reason.
Well, here's the thing. The people that defend these DC movies are just DC fanboys. So if you do another DC movie
Rich,
with heroic versions of the characters, they'll still like that because it says DC on it.
Rich, I think you just don't understand Zack Snyder's deconstructionist vision. He's deconstructing what the superhero is.
Neither did Warner Brothers because they fired his ass.
I wonder if they thought bringing in Joss Whedon to like rewrite it and then ultimately direct new scenes, if they thought that that would actually salvage the movie, or if it was just like scrambling to get something that resembled a likable movie. Because the only way, I mean, it's like the only way to salvage, if the original like Zack Snyder cut was like unwatchable, like the reports say, like the only way would just be to reshoot the whole movie. Like you can't just like get a shot here and shoot a new scene there and combine that with Zack Snyder stuff and have it make any sense, which is what this movie is.
I don't know. This movie's so confusing.
Yeah, I mean, we got this stupid scene, which is clearly a Joss Whedon scene.
Yeah.
Where they're talking about someone's thirsty, says something about thirsty, which means horny. I don't even remember what the context is, but...
Martha Kent and Lois Lane are having coffee at an office.
Yeah, she came to her office for no reason.
That's fine.
In a scene that has nothing to do with anything, just to remind you that Lois Lane exists.
Wait, isn't there some kind of setup where there's some kind of connection to Superman coming back to life? Martha shows up when Superman's evil, and or she shows up.
Lois Lane shows up.
Superman, but Martha's involved somehow.
She comes in later, I think.
See, Rich, I don't remember everything about the Justice League. Is that what we're watching?
Yes. Oh. Remember, Lois is the key.
Martha was the key in the last movie.
Well, the Flash actually showed up in the last movie and said that Lois Lane was going to be the key in the next movie.
Oh, yeah. And I guess we theorized when we did our half in the bag that might be for a future movie, since it's not referenced in this movie at all. But,
well, I'm sure that was the original plan.
Yeah. Yeah, that was completely scrapped. So now it's just a random scene in Batman v Superman that doesn't connect to anything.
I have a radical idea.
Oh, my God.
And I'd like to propose it to the Hollywood industry.
Yeah.
Okay. We were talking about Batman versus Predator.
Yeah.
Batman versus Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I'm watching this right now, and there's two elderly women drinking coffee. And there's no fighting happening.
Uh-huh.
My proposal is this. DC takes a dramatically different business approach.
Okay.
Marvel, you keep making your 2-hour, 20-minute long movies with characters and wacky stuff. Take your $200 million, right, and make a plotless, 30-minute long fight scene where the Justice League versus so-and-so and so-and-so, and then make that 30-minute long thing, $200 million, nothing but pure superhero action.
Uh-huh.
Put that in the theater, charge admission, and everyone who would go see this 2-hour-long stinker would go watch that. Right? Because you're not watching this for the story.
You're saying stop wasting our time?
And the plus to that is that in the time it takes to screen one film, you could screen it 4 times because it's only a half an hour long. Right?
Would you charge full admission?
Yeah.
Who's going to pay full admission for a 30-minute sequence?
Oh, my God. Parents would love that because they don't have to sit there. DC fanboys would love it because it's exactly what they want distilled down into a show.
They don't have to worry.
It's what they want, but they'd still think it were bad because they expect a movie to be 2 hours long, and they would be confused.
Well, no, you tell them this is the Justice League versus Darkseid and his army. You maybe have 2 minutes of plot. Superman, gather your team.
That's basically every fan film you're talking about, is that?
Yes, a big budget fan film that's 30 minutes long.
Like this idea is 7 years ahead of its time.
Okay. You think
Within 7 years, we'll have this. Within 7 years.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I want to take credit for it. Because you could quadruple your profits.
Right now, it's too radical an idea, and it's too soon. It's too soon. They need to be eased into this nonsense, Mike.
Well, I think they're when they made this movie, they were still going under like this scene here is all backstory and explaining Steppenwolf. They're still going by the assumption that this is a general audience going to see this movie, and they need to know what's happening. But I think what you're suggesting is the only people that are going to go see it are the DC fanboys that'll see this anyway, the ones that actually defend the Zack Snyder movies. So like they don't need to know who they already know Steppenwolf. So eliminate all that crap is what you're saying.
And they don't
basically.
care about crap like this, characters talking. I'm saying drop the pretext that this is a movie. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the analogy we made with Rogue One being essentially Star Wars porn.
Drop the pretext that this is a story.
That's yes, same thing. Movie story, but yeah, more accurately described, Rich. Because Rogue One was Star Wars porn, but we had to endure scenes where Forrest Whitaker babbled about something. And then we could get to the action, right?
Uh-huh.
Just get rid of that. I mean, it's an analogy. Porn is a proper analogy because, you know, you could have it's like having a 2-hour-long porno with 15 minutes of like hardcore moments and 30 minutes of story. You know what I mean?
Anyone that watches porn now just goes to Pornhub and watches clips. No one watches a porno.
Yeah, a 2-hour-long.
Nobody sits through a feature-length porno.
Yeah, so you have a 30-minute long film with maybe 2 little 5-minute vignettes of different kinds of action scenes, and then the last 20 minutes is a big action scene. And this could be applicable to Star Wars. You know, a stormtrooper battle. Now we go up into space. Nothing happens plot-wise. Just stop it.
What else does Warner Brothers own? You take this to the next level, not only just pure action, but you just crossover action, pointless crossover action.
Yeah, exactly.
Batman versus Gremlins.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can use the crossover potential.
Don't bring Gremlins into this.
Well, what else does Warner Brothers own? This is a gold mine.
Well, now Disney owns Fox, right?
Yeah.
So how about this?
Potentially.
Your first one, Avengers versus X-Men.
Yeah.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
You
that one's going to happen. That'll be the next. That'll be what they build to after Infinity War.
Yes, but we don't need the story. Nobody wants the story because there is none. It's just bad guy wants to do bad thing.
Yeah.
That's every story. So just get rid of the story. I would go watch 30 minutes of the Avengers fighting the X-Men, and I would leave, and I'd be happy about it. I want to see. It would be like it's like Civil War. You wait that whole movie to get to that tarmac fight at the airport, right? It's so boring. I just want to get to the Avengers fighting each other.
Star Wars versus Aliens.
There you go.
A fucking xenomorph on a Star Destroyer.
As far as Warner Brothers goes, I was just looking up Warner Brothers properties, and Warner Brothers owns Caddyshack. So you can have Steppenwolf versus Batman versus Caddyshack.
You have Tony Stark on the golf course.
No, Tony Stark is in Warner Brothers.
Oh, Warner. Never mind. It's Bruce Wayne on the golf course in Caddyshack.
I like the idea of Tony Stark using gadgets to like route out the
gopher.
Hold on, boys. I'll fix this. And it's like his little like missiles flying through the gopher hole.
Jarvis giving him gopher updates.
And the gopher just keeps eluding all of Tony Stark's technology. No.
Would the gopher get mutated at some point, and then it becomes like a big villain?
The gopher would fight with Rocket Raccoon.
Oh, hey, that's perfect.
Yeah. But listen, Jay, no, you can't bring Caddyshack in.
You can always bring Caddyshack in.
That's 14 years down the road.
Okay,
when things get really
that's when they're getting real desperate. I understand.
It has to be similar franchises. The Rich was talking 20th Century Fox. We got X-Men versus Aliens.
We got Die Hard. What can you do with Die Hard?
I'm thinking we stick.
Yeah, stick with the sci-fi.
We stick with sci-fi fantasy right off the bat. Yeah, because
you could do John McClane versus the Predator.
Hey, there you go. Predator's Earthbound.
Yeah.
Oh, remember Justice League?
Oh yeah, we're still waiting for. I'm literally sitting here waiting for the Justice League to be assembled, so that they could fight a CGI a character from a video game. Can we just get to that? Listen, DC, take my new model. It's going to be real successful for you, because that's all the bearded fat guys want. Maybe give them a food break.
Intermission? Intermissions will come back.
Intermission.
Let's
Yeah.
all
But they'll
go
be
to the
every 20
lobby.
minutes because that's all they'll sit through.
Maybe like dinner. It'll be like dinner. You have pizza before you watch this 30-minute long film.
Okay. But that's a part of the scheduled time?
Yes.
Like half an hour dedicated to dinner,
yeah.
and then the short film will start.
People bring food to you.
Free pizza with a deluxe ticket.
Yes. yeah. Deluxe ticket comes with pizza. And then you can watch your favorite superheroes fight each other on screen and get out of there.
Hey, speaking of eating pizza.
Oh, look. Now, that is not product placement, right? That's quite
no.
surprising.
No, that is surprising.
You know what? It might have been. I'm looking for like logo swapping here with like blurred
Like,
and
or like CGI'd a new box over it.
like they shot it with generic logo, right? And then they pitched it to Pizza Hut and they're like, no, we'll pass. Oh, fuck it. You know, they do that all the time. They swap out logos and things all the time.
Well, he's driving a Mercedes.
That's true.
Well,
You can't double up your product placement, Mike. That was the Mercedes product placement shot. You can't also have Domino's in there. Mercedes would get mad.
people who drive Mercedes don't eat fucking Domino's pizza.
Poor Jeremy Irons. I feel bad that he got roped into this nonsense. He deserves better, like the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
You'll never let him live that down, will you, Jay?
It's possibly the best performance in any movie ever.
It's